Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Good to hear. It's been another busy week in games. It seems like...
Another bloody week, another bloody company getting purchased by some other bastard.
By some other bigger bastard, yeah.
I know. I can understand Sony's upset, so they thought, who did Activision used to work with? I know. Let's buy Bungie.
Look, I mean, let's I guess put that one to bed straight away. There's no way that it was a direct response to the Activision thing.
No.
Hilarious timing, but and I guess
Hilarious,
like if you
perfect.
Yeah,
hilarious
perfect.
or perfect timing?
Perfect timing from them. I guess if you want to continue to like have a bit of a chuckle at, well, I guess there's no real chuckle at all because they've already committed to putting the games out multiplayer anyway. But just to say they had decided to keep things exclusive, or they changed their mind in the future. Yes, there's okay, you had Bungie, now we've got them, and that applies to both Activision and Xbox. And Phil Spencer's favorite game is Destiny 2. So if they went down that path and decided, we'll make it exclusive, that's you just take a swipe over the bow at Phil Spencer.
So Jim Ryan's there with a pair of scissors going, do anything wrong with Phil? Destiny 2's gone.
Yeah. So that was a big bit of news this week. But one of the things we're not gonna focus on the announcement itself because everyone's done it. I've already done it in an episode of Radio Watson in the past 4 or 5 days as well. It just seems like every time there's an acquisition, Buddy, pulls me out these days. So
it's like, another purchase. Cut. Better call Paul up.
So I'm gonna be doing a lot of these this year because I think there's a lot still coming. I mean, Jim Ryan himself said there was heaps, like quite a few acquisition announcements still planned for the year. So I don't know. There's a lot going on in PlayStation Land. But
is Wordle one of them?
Too late. New York Times already got him. That's 4 big acquisitions this year between Wordle, Bungie, Zynga, and Activision Blizzard. So what we're going to focus on out of it is one little piece of information that we learned. I don't think it was the day of the initial reveal, but in a couple reports since, that PlayStation has 10 games as service games planned for the next 5 years, basically, till the end of 2026. Now, this is coming from a company who basically had none.
Or?
What? I guess all of 2022, then 2023, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
Since we're at the beginning of 2022.
No, fair point.
So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting that they're going down that path for starters because this is a company that hasn't been doing it at all up until now. They've been all about their, single player narrative adventures, all that sort of thing. Horizon Forbidden West is the upcoming example. God of War is still to come, and obviously the linear games that come beforehand. We'll see. Seafood is that's an indie game, but yeah. And I guess I should shout that out. Go check out, if you're on the Patch podcast feed, go check out the review discussion that myself and Sean Nichols have done for Seafood. It's already live on the podcast feed, so go check that out. But I mean, they've kind of gone with that typical single player sort of adventure, and now they're really consciously making strides into this games as a service multiplayer sort of environment. So we thought we would come up with a few ideas to what they might have in store. Bounce a few ideas. We're not going to try and come up with 10 just because Sony said there's going to be 10, but who knows? Maybe between us there are 10 ideas. So we'll kind of see where we land there, but we'll kick a few ideas around. Matto, did you want to be the one to kick us off?
Sure, why not? As I say, 10 games in 5 years, considering what's they called? Bungie have only made 7 games in the past 21 years. Most of them being Halo games.
Yeah. Well, I guess it is. Obviously, there's the Bungie part of it. And I guess like if you want to put a couple games down on a list, if you were starting to build a list of 10, you could probably name Destiny 3 and they're working on a new IP as probably being amongst those 10. But the other first-party studios at PlayStation have been hiring for multiplayer games for quite a while now. A lot of them have been. So the cogs are turning, and Bungie is almost like you guys are the experts. You can help us make sure that we don't make any obvious mistakes.
I think it's the one thing too that I'd say for the last 10 years, maybe they haven't had many first-party games for a while because they all got switched over to third person. Guerrilla, Insomniac,
Yeah, for sure.
And that's it. That's all I know of. Killzone and...
No, anything else that was first person was basically VR. So, like
that's
PlayStation.
just
Yeah,
so that's obvious. So that's a bit obvious though. If you have it in third person in VR, that's just weird.
Yeah, because they had Farpoint, they had the London Heist, which became
Was it Lock
Blood and Truth?
Blood
and Truth. So like they've had a couple examples, and there's some third party stuff as well, or indie stuff as well. But yeah, nothing. You're right. Not much in terms of first person from the first party. So where are you going with this? Where do you see things going?
We could just knock the first thing off. Probably a Destiny 3, or more DLC. Exclusive.
They'll keep doing that. Oh,
like more, not exclusive. No, but they said it was going to be on both.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Yeah, no, there'd be a Destiny 3 around there somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
A time will come where you just can't. Like, it's just too much. Like, there's more opportunities for Bungie by creating a third game than there is to just keep toiling away at the second one. Which is fair. All right, well, I guess on my end, the first one I'll throw out there is one that you and I... is a sequel to one that you and I have said for a while that we should both play, and we never did.
Monster Hunter?
No, it's not Monster Hunter.
Oh, right.
Ghost of Tsushima Legends.
Oh yeah,
I think it's almost a given that there'll be a second one. That was a big win for them, regardless of the fact that we haven't played it and we don't like. It's all the stuff that we're hearing is that the game was excellent. People love it. It was really well balanced and it was an awesome little spin-off. And I think now that they've had that one success, they'll look to really try and build that out. And I presume it probably won't be attached to a Ghost of Tsushima 2 anymore. It'll be a standalone game that people can go and get. So that's kind of my first thought is like they don't. I mean, there'll be a Ghost of Tsushima 2. Don't get me wrong, but and it'll probably be amazing, just like the original was. But I think Legends will actually be spun off, and there might be. I mean, the hiring that's been going on for multiplayer kind of, I guess, skilled developers. They're probably creating a little spin-off team within Sucker Punch right now, so that they can work on that while the core team is working on the main game, and Legends 2 can come out whenever it's ready. Same with Tsushima 2, but they're not connected. So that's my first thought. What else you got?
Well, this one I'm thinking maybe a Halo type battle royale.
Or
because hey, you've got the ones that made
specifically sci-fi, or just
Let's go with the sci-fi. Why not? Everyone loves a good space game.
Yeah.
And everyone, see, you got the team that created it, so why not? It's just like the team that did Left 4 Dead, and then swapped it to Was it Back 4 Blood? I can't remember. What it was called.
Back 4 Blood. Yeah, Left 4 Dead became Back 4 Blood.
And then all it is, and then all these idiots who have no idea about games say, "Oh, this looks like Left 4 Dead." Like, of course it is, you idiots. It's the same people that made it.
Yeah.
You morons.
Do
some research.
Question for you with first-person shooters, and I guess I'll throw to... It wasn't the next thing on my list, but I'll throw to my other suggestion that kind of builds on potentially your idea. If they're going to do Battle Royales...
Yes.
Do you think that it stays exclusive to PlayStation, or do you think... Because if you think about all the big Battle Royales out there, there's none. Not a single one of them are exclusive to a console. Even Halo Infinite, which was huge at first, has really tapered away again. Like, it's not dropping... And obviously, that's not a Battle Royale in this case, but it's, you know, a big exclusive games as a service title. And it's not shooting the lights out anymore. Like, there's still a really adoring community that plays it. Maybe part of the reason it struggled is not so much because it's stuck on Xbox exclusively, and PC exclusively, but because it's not 100% ready to go from the day it came out. Like, they're still trying to add stuff in there. There's features missing. But do you think, like, even if PlayStation developed it, do you think that they would potentially need to go multi-plat, even though they wouldn't like the idea of putting on an Xbox or potentially even Nintendo? But they just might need to so that they can potentially contest against a Fortnite or an Apex or someone like that?
Console, no. PC, yes.
So just skip the Xbox.
Skip the Xbox. Or you can, you have to pay big bag of money for it. No, but
Oh, I mean, no, they 100% make them do that. But that's fine.
but I'd say go for PC because that's where a lot of your battle royale players are, or
The cheaters.
Maybe not all of the cheaters. Yeah, just get them on board.
If you can get it working on mobile, that's a big deal. Like Fortnite, obviously, before it got ripped off the App Store.
Oh, let's not go down. Let's not go down there.
Let's not go down the Apple and Epic path. But no, the thing's been sorted. They both kind of were assholes and both kind of owe each other money. But you're not going to see Fortnite on the App Store again.
Oh no, all those kids are not going to be able to spend all their money.
Yeah.
On whatever.
So I guess, yeah. So building on like your first-person shooter idea, the first thing I had in my head was, in terms of that sort of category, was bring back SOCOM.
US Navy serials. Oh man,
I think that'd be an awesome choice. They could even go down the MAG path. Remember the massive action game, 256 people in like that kind of lends itself to a battle royale. But like SOCOM was a huge multiplayer shooter for a long time, and it died in the water thanks to the PlayStation Network outage in 2010, 2011, whatever it was, but a bit over 10 years ago now. Where that outage basically happened a couple days before the game's launched, so people were buying the game and couldn't play it online because the network was out, and it basically just killed the game.
Say they can bring back the old comms communication too.
Yeah,
just imagine what you can do with that now, with the technology.
The possibilities, right?
Possibilities are endless.
So yeah, I mean, as much as I like, love Killzone and especially Resistance, I think SOCOM, if you're looking to kind of go to the games and service path, I think SOCOM is maybe the best first-person shooter franchise that they've got to adapt to that sort of battle royale, or that, I guess, what we tend to think of as the stereotypical battle royale game now, which is a shooter. I guess the direct parallel to that is Apex. Like that's the closest competition to a SOCOM game in that sense. But yeah, I reckon SOCOM might be a handy one for them to consider bringing back. Or I guess Apex or Call of Duty Warzone would be the other example.
Warzone. So I completely forgot about SOCOM until you just mentioned it. I was like,
it's pretty much a dead franchise. Yeah. But I think they could bring it back.
Oh no, there's no. Every game's getting a reboot these days. I don't see why not. Most people wouldn't even know what you're talking about, except for all the old people are going, "Oh my god!" Who had a PlayStation 2 back in the day? Like, "Oh my god!"
And back. Had the network adapter thing in the back of their PS2 because that was the only way you could get into. Yeah, go. What else you got?
Well, not much else. I went down the VR path. For some reason, I thought Fruit Ninja. I thought that was a silly idea.
Yeah, it is not PlayStation exclusive, but I guess it could be. Yeah, what sort of?
No, not a Fruit Ninja type.
Oh, right.
I don't know.
In VR,
maybe just a Karate Chop VR. I don't know what you want to do with it.
That's fair.
Just cut through things.
That's right. Well, I mean, what other? I guess because you said you didn't have any else. Maybe we'll roll with those, and then I can throw out a whole bunch of ideas that I've got. What else was buzzing around in the head? Did you have any other ideas?
A Beat Saber type game.
Oh, okay.
But how you do it, I don't know, because Beat Saber is it's actually not the game. It's just people who modded the game have actually made it popular.
Yeah, they're the ones that have kind of added the massive library to it. But.
So if you can do something with Beat Saber without having mods to save your game, you could be in for something. But what? I was going to say Drum Simulator, but I think I've already seen one of those. But that's not the Bungie
Rock
way.
Band, yeah.
Or
VR,
I'll
throw a few options at you.
Go on.
So one of them is just a gimme because they technically announced it was meant to come years ago and then it just fell off the radar. It's still being worked on. The Last of Us factions will come back, and that'll be because that was meant to be part of Last of Us Part 2, and just they prioritize single player, and they've been working on it on the side. They said no, okay, we'll develop it and release it at a later date, and they just haven't gotten to that point yet. And they're still hiring for multiplayer stuff, so you'd imagine that's the main focus for them. That's probably the one of all these games that we talk about. I think that'll be the one that comes out first. That could even come out this year with the Last of Us 1 remake. I think or at the same time as that. I think that's almost a lock for this year at this point. Twisted Metal is also supposed to be coming back.
Oh, Twisted Metal.
And I think that's a great candidate for a battle royale style thing. It'll be like a total change of pace.
All these old games I forgot about.
Yeah, but I think like you're gonna speak to the Rocket League crowd to an extent with kind of the car component of it. They'll move around, not probably all that dissimilarly to the way that the rocket cars do in Rocket League. But then it's got the personality, it's got the actual kind of car combat aspect to it. I think there's a lot they could do with that, and then there's enough diversity amongst the suite of characters in Twisted Metal that you could probably do something pretty cool with it. The only trick would be making sure they're all balanced, which could be a lot harder than most. But maybe you don't go down a battle royale path. Maybe it's a bit more traditional arena based combat. So I don't know. That's another idea I had. Little less games as service, but it's actually one that we've done an episode dedicated to at one point in the past. I think one of those 10 could and should be, and they'll probably have to name change it given the how popular the genre is now, or like the genre with the same name is. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2 should be one of those. I mean, it makes sense. Like the lineup of iconic PlayStation characters is enormous. Now, a little downside for them recently is that Activision was bought, so some of your most iconic ones in Crash and Spyro are gone. Hell, you could even get Tony Hawk in there smacking people with a skateboard, but not anymore. But there's still like tons of other characters from all the stuff that PlayStation owns for starters. Just have a chat to Bungie and be like, hey, can you get Peter Dinklage in here? Like not as the little droney robot. Let's just get Peter Dinklage in there. He's a fighter.
Why not?
Or just be like, hey, you guys made Halo once. Can you like grease some palms and let me put the Chief in a PlayStation game?
So say if I have Mortal Kombat, the creators of Mortal Kombat haven't come up with that. Putting Peter Dinklage in a fighting game.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity. Well, there's a fighting game with Arya Stark coming in. I think is that Rumbleverse or something? It's the Rumble Versus. I don't know, whatever it is.
But not Peter Dinklage.
Not Peter Dinklage. No, it's Arya Stark.
Come on.
Maybe he'll still be in it, but he didn't do a lot of fighting in the show, so I don't know that they'll try and turn him into a fighter.
Is that the case? Maybe get Brand in there to fight.
Yeah, I can do with that. What else? So, one that I guess I put together an article about a while back, and we referenced Monster Hunter before. I put an article together on the Player 2 website talking about how I think a Monster Hunter styled Horizon game would work, which I just kind of dubbed Horizon Machine Hunter. Very original. But I think like the world of Horizon's perfect for that. So if you go down the Monster Hunter path, and then you kind of it's similar to what they've done with World and Rise, you have that online connectivity. People can kind of come in and out and that sort of thing. I think it'll be. I mean, it's the perfect universe for it, and I think it'll work a treat, and people will be super super keen. And it'd be good to have like a serious contender to Monster Hunter as well. Like Capcom has just been, and who knows, maybe by the time this thing ever happened, Capcom's just part of PlayStation anyway. The way things are going, and everyone thinks that they are the logical fit, and they are a very logical fit. But in the event that they don't, like Monster Hunter is really needing some competition. It sounds like it actually, based on some reports from the last week, that Xbox is working on their own Monster Hunter style game. They got Creative
scares
Assembly.
me.
I can't remember. It might have been Creative Assembly do RTSs. I can't remember. There was a team anyway that apparently is working on a Monster Hunter style game for Xbox. So they're thinking about it. I think PlayStation would be foolish not to think about how they could use the Horizon world is perfect for that. Going out with a party of 2 or 3, maybe 4, and trying to bring down a Thunderjaw or
set up all those traps.
You've got all the traps. Like all the, a lot of the mechanics are already there in the main Monster Hunter game, but you can up the difficulty and bit more online focus, and you'd be good.
And you also got Proving Ground. Is it Proving Grounds? I can't remember. I haven't played Horizon for a while.
There's the Proving Grounds.
You could add that in there too if you want.
There's a whole lot they can do.
Say you can show how Monster Hunter Rise should have done it with your little stupid battle things of monsters going through doors.
I I mean, I won't speak too much more to Horizon since I am currently embargoed on Forbidden West, so I'll just kind of... I'll tread very carefully through there because I don't want to say something I shouldn't. Okay. But yeah,
yes,
I think...
Yes. Okay, hey, let me ask you one question about Horizon. Yes or no, do you get to throw a rock at someone?
Oh, you can throw rocks, just like the last game.
Oh, good. No, not we don't
want to upset anyone because the animation to throw the rock is basically the same as the last game, and we don't want to have that. That would upset a lot of people. But yes, you can throw rocks. I haven't thrown them at people, but I'm sure you can. Well, I have thrown them at people.
Is riding the horse the same animation too?
You don't have horses, remember? You ride machines.
The ram, the robotic ram.
Oh yeah, the charger. There's chargers that you can ride.
The same animation?
No comment.
I was going to say, what a bloody outrage.
So yeah, look out for Horizon stuff, including a review discussion in about a week from now.
How many puddles are there?
Oh, lots of puddles. There's water everywhere, so you can splash in it all you like. One that I didn't really have much of an idea with in terms of what you could specifically do, but I think Infamous might be a good franchise to use for it because you can bring a whole bunch of superheroes and superpowers into the mix. Don't go like as far as DC online or any of those sorts of things where it just becomes like an MMO, but I think you could have like a crossover of powers and those sort of things being used together. So I don't know. I don't know much more than that, but I think that might be a franchise you could mess around with in that sort of space.
Just anything for you to get an Infamous game.
I mean, yes, I'm desperate. But just note, I didn't put Resistance in this whole list at all. I
was thinking about Resistance. I thought maybe they could just jump on board Killzone or Resistance.
Yeah, I mean, multiplayer Resistance kind of makes sense, whether it's Battle Royale or whether it's just more multiplayer on top of a campaign, a real campaign. That'd be great. But yeah, I think that was a little too obvious, so I didn't go down that path. And the last one that I've got was involving the Uncharted franchise, a game that I'd kind of dubbed Uncharted Expeditions. And the reason that I came up with that idea was that I was playing a game late last year. The name just escapes me as we speak, which is a pain in the ass. I might have to try and bring up my Steam
Describe it to me.
It was, I mean, in that particular case, it was a treasure hunting game, but it was like they were procedurally developed dungeons. Now, I don't think you'd ever see Naughty Dog have something that's procedurally developed simply because their games, like they're too particular about the way that their games are, the way they work, and that sort of thing. So,
when you say
exact design is super meticulous, but like that idea, like they could have, heaps and heaps of. They might have 15 of these things that you can go and explore without friends and kind of do runs and optimize your time, collect as much loot, get out, that sort of thing. There might be a you're pushing as deep as you can, but things get messy, and if you die, you lose everything. So you and your party might need to bail out, that sort of thing. I could see maybe something in that sort of space.
I thought when you said Uncharted of exploration, all I thought was when you're in that big open world with your little four-wheel drive, you just drive it around, do whatever you like, find some treasure.
Yeah, right.
No.
I'm just trying to scroll through my...
You're still trying to find it.
I am trying to find it because...
Is it like Dungeon Hunter or Treasure Hunter?
Phantom Abyss, which was an Aussie game, actually. It came out last year. It was really, really cool. Now, in that particular case, you actually... Once people completed it... Because they were all procedurally developed, when you actually completed if you were the person who managed to get in, get the treasure, and get out, no one else could ever complete that run again. That was yours. You were the person who did it, and that's it. It's just off the face. There's a record that it was you, but it's unplayable for anyone else in the future.
Too bad. You can't get in. Oh, no. It's like an NFT.
Yes. It's like the NFTs of
But
Dungeon
you don't
Crawlers.
have to pay for it.
You don't have to pay for it, but it's yours. Your name's next to it.
You get to brag about it, go, that was me.
Now, yeah, there's other games that have done that. I can't remember what it was, but I guess No Man's Sky, when you would go out and you'd find a planet, and if you were the first to have been to that planet, you could name it, and it would be kind of discovered by such and such. So I guess that's kind of a comparison people as well, except that it was you actually achieving something, not just flying to a planet and going, oh, no one's been here.
Can't claim.
So, yeah, I mean, Uncharted I think would be more contained than that. Like, it wouldn't be a dedicated procedurally developed thing where it's just, go for it. It'll be far more, and I don't mean this in a horrible way, but far more designed. Like, it'd be planned and meticulous. It's there's nothing random about it. It's all scripted, and so there'll just be a number of these things, and players would need to navigate them on their own or with a party or whatever the case happens to be. You proceed as deep as you possibly can, but you might have to bail at some point, or I guess there's a comparison to Extraction recently, which is you progress as far as you can through the series of missions, and then you extract if things are starting to get too ugly. Might be a similar sort of logic to that as well. So that was that was one of the main ones where I actually had some ideas in my head as to how this could possibly look, outside of Horizon, which I cooked up a couple months ago. So yeah, they're all the ideas that I had in mind. Is there anything that's kind of popped in your head since you've gone through your initial list?
No, it's still Fruit Ninja. But that's it. No.
I mean, Fruit Ninja's awesome.
You don't have to call it Fruit Ninja. I don't know what you want to call it.
No, you're definitely not going to be able to call it Fruit Ninja.
Backyard slicing. I don't know.
Just get like a Parappa dance game going that's in multiplayer.
Oh.
Parappa. Speaking of just wheeling out old franchises.
Old franchises. Might as well just bring Point Blank as well. Just chuck that in there.
Why not? Hey, let's throw Sly Cooper in there. And again, just like my Uncharted idea, or the Extraction sort of ideas, that you're thieving treasures and you're going as deep as you can, and then you got to work out when you need to bail out. Extraction style.
Possibilities are endless here.
Good on you, Ubisoft. You've set off a seed in my head.
Sony's just going to give them all the old gaming games that they haven't done in years ago. Right. Do something with this, would you?
I mean, if you can do it right, though, like, these are the best ways to almost revive some of these franchises, and then potentially you could see, Sly 5 or whatever it is. We didn't mention Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank's done a lot of kind of off the beaten path sort of games in the past. They had Ratchet and Clank All for One, which was a co-op Ratchet and Clank game. They've done a tower defense stuff. Like, that's a franchise that Insomniac's been pretty keen to do different things with over the journey, so I could potentially see Ratchet and Clank do something in the kind of online games as service style thing. Now, the downsides of all the games as service stuff are a lot of the things that you and I typically don't like, loot boxes and microtransactions and all of that sort of stuff. But you don't have to engage. Like, if you want to put dozens of hours into it, you probably won't need to. I guess like a Genshin, as Damo would constantly talk about last year, you don't need to commit the money to it if you can play enough.
Just got to remember, they're just cosmetics. They don't make you better.
There's that too.
They just look nice.
Maybe spend the $10 on the one cosmetic you want and be happy with it.
Just leave it.
That's kind of been my thing. Is like, I'll wait until there's something that I really, really want, and then I'll get that, and then I'll be content with that for probably the rest of my time ever playing the game. And if something else does come along, well, great, fine. But you've got maybe $20 out of me for the entire time playing this free game that I might have spent hundreds of hours playing. That's reasonable at that point. So no other ideas from you, though?
No more ideas.
We didn't mention God of War, but let's just note that God of War went down the multiplayer path with God of War Ascension, and it didn't go well. So let's never see God of War multiplayer ever again. All right. On that note, then, we'll wrap things up. That has been a whole host of different games that PlayStation could potentially turn into games as service somewhere in the future. All of those obviously were older IPs, but I'm sure some of those 10 will be new ones. They have got some of those other teams that they've partnered up with. They're not companies that they own yet, but that they've partnered up with. Firewalk and Jade Raymond's Haven team and all those sorts of things that they may be working. I mean, one of them, I think Firewalk is the one that's made up by ex-Call of Duty developers, so you can probably bet your bottom dollar that they're working on a first-person shooter that will have a heavy multiplayer focus as well. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff that could be on the way that we didn't talk about that are all new franchises, and that's not a bad thing either. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. All the buttons are down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Awesome stuff there. Please subscribe and go and check it out. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news features, links to the podcast series, Patch, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. Remember, on the podcast and YouTube side, I've mentioned the Sifu review discussion myself and Sean have done within a week. I think before our next episode of Patch goes up, you will see a Horizon Forbidden West review discussion as well. We're also working on a spoiler cast. Jess and Stephen are working on a spoiler cast for it's a little bit after the fact now, but Life is Strange True Colors for people if they, and that's a very story focused thing there. And those two, we've been trying to work out when to get it done for weeks. So I've got the layout ready to go, and I just said, guys, just get on a Discord call so I can record it. We haven't gotten there yet, but it'll happen. And there's some awesome stuff there in that space on top of our usual episodes. So make sure you subscribe to the Patch podcast feed and check all that out. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Kick it a few bucks, lower tiers early access, high tiers monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter. Matto?
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for me. The website's player2au. And until next week, I don't know. No, it's like the middle of Feb. No updates for a while. Who knows? There could be about 15 acquisitions in the next week that we'll have to talk about. So until next week, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you later.